Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We're looking forward to today's webinar. Um, First, I guess just a couple logistics before we get started. We will be recording this webinar, and it will be posted to our blog on eDirectory.com within 24 hours of the webinar. So you can check back on eDirectory, just go down to the footer and you'll be able to see the webinar there posted. Also, during the webinar, if you have any questions or comments, please post them into the chat, and we will stop periodically to answer questions, as well as at the end of the webinar, we will have time for more questions and more discussion on both this topic and anything else that you would like to ask. Okay, great. So let's get started today. Today we're going to talk about the online directory business model, sort of the core business model, which is a great webinar. So I'm James Chubb. I am the founder of the company, and with us today we have Emerson and Gabriel from our marketing department. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hi, James. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Hello, everybody. Hello, James.
Great. Okay. So, and we have a couple events coming up as well, just to put on your calendar. We do these webinars every other Wednesday. So June 12th, we have a topic on how to pitch your online directory. And this goes really deep into sort of preparing a pitch about the value proposition, these type of things. We'll have some examples. And then June 26th, we're going to talk about the mobile apps. eDirectory comes with native mobile apps, and so we're going to review those and show you how they work and all that sort of thing on the 26th. Also, just upcoming, we have a new version coming out very soon. It's going to be out by sometime in the next month, version 13.5. A lot of great stuff in there. We will have a webinar on this as well. We're finishing things up, so I don't have the exact release date at this time. But wanted to let you know it's coming, and if you sign up before then, if you sign up today from today on, you'll get the upgrade included as it comes out, so you can go ahead and build out your content and those type of things as well. And for anybody new here, just a quick background on the eDirectory platform. This is the platform that we sell. It fits any industry or purpose. It's to build online directories or listing style websites. It also has a full content management system, so you can do blogs, news articles, events, event guides, etc. It's highly customizable, both with a native inside of the system. There's a configurable WYSIWYG editor, no code. You can configure things, move things around with widgets. Also, we have a native app builder where you can build the apps and submit them to the store under your own brand. And the source code is available as well if you want to integrate with legacy systems, do further modifications, etc. And you can request a live demo on eDirectory.com. Okay, so the online directory business model, and this topic is about basically how this business works of setting up essentially an online directory, an online guide, and then turning it into a business. So the first question is, what is an online directory, and what is it for, and why would people want to create this style, this type of website, or this type of online business? So an online directory, basically, it aims to assist customers in making informed purchase decisions by offering insights into various options available on the market. So essentially, you're helping people make purchase decisions, and there's a lot of value in helping people do that. Curated and up-to-date content is the key. This is really, really important. This is a media business. A lot of people make the mistake and think they're in a technology business, and it's not. It's a media business, and it's all about the content and the value you're providing to those end users in terms of helping them, understand what's available and making those decisions. And eDirectory is really a great fit for building an online buyer's guide. So there's a bunch of different types of directories that we often see people do, and they definitely go way beyond this short little list here. All sorts of things you can create directories of. A big one is local guides, local search sites. These are often guides of a certain area, tourist area, or other area. B2B vendor directories, these are often things, niche industrial directories, things that help people find suppliers for parts that may be hard to find, those type of things. Niche industry directories, lawyers, doctors, contractors, wedding directories. Weddings are great because it's typically something people do once in their lives or maybe a couple times, and it's a sort of a high value event, and people need to find a lot of suppliers and stuff from all sorts of places. So weddings often work pretty good. Travel directories are great as well. Often those sort of overlap a little bit with local guide. And often you can combine some of these with geographic plus categories, and those combinations, if you're looking for a lawyer in a certain area, or even, the more niche you go, often that works as well. And curated for certain audience groups works well too. So, essentially you're building a guide that's about maybe a local guide for luxury or a local guide for families or some combination of those type of things, thinking about who your audience is and then really curating it for that audience to make sure that it includes what they're looking for. So a couple advantages of the online directory business model. So of course, as I mentioned, it provides a valuable service in helping people make purchase decisions. One of the biggest things, it's very low cost to set up and maintain in terms of, this type of business versus other types of business. And that's because a lot of the content is user generated. Whereas people, the sponsors can go in and add their listings themselves, upload their photos themselves. The reviews and other content that come in through the site, they're often generated by users. So you don't need to produce all that content. You may need to produce a good portion of it, but as it gets going, things will start to grow on their own. And you certainly need to edit it. Don't forget about that. You need to make sure that the site looks great and it's really helping, do its job for the end visitor. But still, a lot of it is user generated versus, some other type of media business like an online newspaper or something where you need to write all the content every day, or you need to have a team that produces video all the time, etc. And also, the content doesn't go stale very quickly in an online directory versus other types of media businesses. So a video type service, live news or something that goes stale immediately. Other things, even classified websites, they go stale pretty quickly, as the job gets filled or the car gets sold, those type of things go stale more quickly. So directories are great. They say an online business, changes location only once, maybe every 5 years on average. So the content can stay a long time. And at the end of the day, it can generate a very high margin recurring revenue for you. So it's a great business model overall. I think probably one of the very best in terms of online media. And then one of the biggest things about this and making it all work is really the power of curation, curating this content. And to do that, what you need to do is identify who your audience is. We don't recommend just trying to serve everybody in the whole world, and really identifying your audience and who that is and what they're looking for. And then finding ways to provide that information, quickly and easily for them in terms of your site layout and what types of things are in the articles and blogs and all that sort of thing. The value with curation is what is not included. The service you're providing is just making sure that they don't look through a million things and trying to make that great purchase decision. It's not so much work. They're able to go in there and figure out, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Great, I found it. And not just found it, but found all the available options and then made that decision very quickly and efficiently. As far as the basics of building and running the business, so what you do with this type of business is you start with initial content, and we have a whole webinar on building your database out, where to find the data and all that sort of thing. We'll have that coming up in the schedule, not too far in the future. But you start with your base data. You set a goal of what fields and how many listings. Then you often acquire a database, whether that's buying it or finding a partner that may already have it, like a trade association, something along those lines. There's some other techniques as well, data scraping, all sorts of things like that. And then you build out the listings with really deep content, images, descriptions, things like what products and services the business may offer, and just get those listings really filled out so that somebody looking for information or looking to make that purchase decision can make that decision based on what's on the site there. And then there's a whole bunch of auxiliary content that you should add around it. These are articles, blogs, events about that subject matter, that type of thing. So you get all the content set up initially, and that will start to bring in the visitors. And then you build the audience. And so you drive traffic with the great content is at the core. That's the very most important thing. If you spend all your time doing that alone, you may be successful, you'll find. Just having really great content, you'll find people are able to find it. Google's pretty good about putting the good content up there, right below their own, of course. And then you drive traffic, and you can do that with search engine optimization. There's a bunch of techniques for search engine optimization, and this is sort of picking the keywords and doing on-site optimization, as well as building backlinks or links into that content from other places on the internet. Setting up a newsletter is really fundamental part of the business for most directories. Essentially, you send this out maybe every week, every 2 weeks, depending on your resources, and it should be a content-based newsletter, not just, hey, buy a listing, be a part of this. And then there's social media as well, and you continually post when you get new listings, you get new things set up, featuring listings, that type of thing. Post on your social media, and you'll find that the community comes behind and then uses the site as a resource there. And then reach out and engage the businesses. And this is where you get them essentially to claim their listings. So after the listings are imported, they may not have an owner yet, and eDirectory has a feature that allows a business owner to come in and claim it. And also they'll be able to get notifications, review, and read and respond to reviews, which is very important. The reviews are important. So you engage these businesses, get them in the loop with this thing. And then after that, you become the authority on the as naturally you sort of have all this information all put together and you've curated it, et cetera, you become the authority. And it's a good idea at that point to start using, we have a badge feature in eDirectory that allows you to put on badges or seals. These are things like editor's choice, or you can make up, you can certify these businesses if you want under your own name, not some type of a legal certification necessarily. There may be something you can add where you verify they have a legal certification for certain industries, but there are a whole bunch of other things like, is it good for environmentally friendly or organics for food, those kind of things? Is it family friendly? Is it great for young people? Whatever it is, you put together these badges, those type of things, and then you become the authority in terms of giving these out. And then another piece of that is, which works pretty well, is setting up an awards program. And you can do this with, adding in little external voting widgets, those type of things, and then run those somewhat regularly. These are things like, best pizza in type of badges, those kind of things for that. Works pretty well. And then you become the authority on the subject matter and the sort of the go-to place where people look for information. And as you've done that, then the way to monetize it is essentially get people to upgrade from free to paid listings. And that's done through a series of reach outs. It may not happen on the first time you reach out, but this will give them more visibility, those type of things. So over time, you send them emails, contact them, et cetera, and get people to upgrade their listing, and then they'll be paying an ongoing subscription. And so, and then the other aspect to this business model is bundling in and running the other services in there with this. And so you can create a marketing service, a video creation service where you go out and record testimonial videos, photos of products. You can have a service where you take photos and help them build out their listing, and then you can give them these photos to put on their own website. You can create a website for them, using a website hosting product as well as email hosting, those type of things, other digital services, whatever else you can think of to bundle in with this is a great idea for that. The example we have on the slide here is about, television, people that sell televisions or whatever, they bundle in all these sort of streaming services when you get started there, those type of things as well. So think about what you can bundle with your listing and your marketing options there to generate additional revenue for that. And then repeat. So essentially the cycle is informational content, claim the listing, upgrade to paid plan, and then keep that going. And you'll find over time you're able to build up a group of paid users. So with that, I think I'll open it up at this point. I don't know, Emerson or Gabriel, do you guys have any questions at this point? Anything you guys would like to add to this? And then we'll open it up to questions here.
Just a minor comment that compared to other traditional business and online directories, very low entrance level of investment. And as you mentioned, there's a high margin revenue for the recurring customers.
Yeah, great.
Yes, and if you think
Okay.
about it, you can have directories that are super, enormous, like realtor.com, which is basically a online directory for houses and renting and selling houses, and then you can start low, and then you can invest and transform it into a much bigger company.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're constantly going to be building your database and growing that. And as you grow it and have a more complete database, you'll find you're providing a lot of value, and that value will be rewarded. Let's see what kind of questions we got here. Any questions, just drop them into the chat. Oh, and one last thing. After today's webinar, we will have a survey, just so if you can give us some feedback, that's important for us to help improve in terms of suggestions and some feedback there. So that'll pop up after we end the webinar here. Great. Okay, first question. Once my online directory is built and launched, can I add my own little online store and sell supplies to my sponsors and advertisers? Yes, we have a widget, the products and services widget, actually, and that is available in the site manager, and it essentially allows you to add sort of a block to the listings that allow people to feature their products and services right in there. It's very light. There isn't heavy, inventory management or anything like this. The buttons actually go to a third party, whatever third party you're using to take payment or shopping cart or whatever, something outside of eDirectory. But it's a great way to sort of add a little online store to the different individual listings. And also, if you want to integrate in, some other third store like a Shopify store, that's very easy to do, and you could just add a link to store on your navigation bar and then make the header the same on the two systems, and then people can go back and forth, and it'll be seamless for the user there in terms of selling supplies to sponsors. If you have any questions about that, reach out to our support team, and we can show you more on how to get that configured. Next question. Can you explain the legal aspects of building a site with your platform? Does eDirectory take ownership of the content, design, data that the customer creates? No, absolutely not. We are actually in a technology business, and we're a technology provider in terms of we provide the platform. So all of the content, all of the revenue, everything is all yours. We don't take any cuts of anything. everything is yours. You have copyright on the content, etc. For that. So we don't take any ownership on anything. It's all yours as far as that goes. So hopefully that answers that. We don't have our hands in your pockets as far as that goes. Next question from Warren. Let's see. Oh, this looks like a very technical question from about Emerson. You have a listing at for a house for sale on the demo website under real estate. How do I find that header to work in version 13.4 as I don't see it? That one may be best, Emerson, if you just follow up with Warren about how to get his site configured, I guess, to show that to find
Okay.
that, to show that header. So apparently the website has a little header there, and we'll reach out to you, Warren, to show you how to get that done. Next question from Ronald. Can the app have a home screen where buttons can be displayed to go to A, the business directory, B, niche directory 1, niche directory 2, classified ads, E, comments, or is that too intense for a single app? No, you can configure the home screen. We have all sorts of widgets on there that allow you to link to different sections and link to, it's really free form in terms of what you're able to do with it. In terms of two directories, when you think about a directory, it may be like really it's one big directory under your brand, but there's different category structures under it. So a category for restaurants and a category for hotels, or it may be even a wider mix than that. But there's a lot of ways to do this. Also, we have an option for doing add-on websites that can actually be hosted under a whole different domain, and you could potentially link between two different sites if they are full-on different directories. So there's some options there. I think it's best actually, Ronald, if depending on what you're trying to do, we can have an account executive reach out and kind of talk through with you how to do that, how to get that configured. Next question from Mike Andrews. Is it good for a private home sale website and rental listing website? We actually do have a real estate module, a real estate theme, I guess, that has some more specifics, like, searching for things like beds, baths, those type of things. So I think it's a great fit for that. The rental calendar, if you're trying to do calendars on the rentals, that would probably require sort of a widget, plugging in just sort of a calendar widget, but that could be done as well by just getting a calendar widget and then plugging in under a custom content option. So yeah, reach out to our team and we can maybe we can note that, Emerson, we can reach out and discuss that more with you about how to do that. Next question from Leonella. How do you know what to charge for memberships? And what about cost per click charge or charge per lead? So the typical billing model with eDirectory, the way that the system is all set up, is to do a charge essentially by a time period or a one-time charge for the listing for things that like classified ads or something where they may just pay once. In terms of knowing what to charge, there's a whole bunch of methodologies in terms of setting pricing. Probably the best one is thinking about what is the maximum that somebody's willing to pay. And to do that, you can probably think about what value are you providing. So if a business is getting, say, the average sale is $100 and you're able to provide a certain number of sales, 10 sales, how much would they pay for that and still have a profit on their end? And you can kind of think a little bit about that in terms of charging for membership. The other thing is you can kind of look around what else is out there on the internet, look at some competitors, look whatever else is out there and see what other people are charging and set some other similar range. One other technique that people do is they look at the Google ad price for those keywords and then estimate, oh, if I'm going to provide a certain number of clicks or whatever per month, what value is that? Like Google would charge you $75 for that. I may be able to charge 50, and that's a great value proposition for an advertiser. So there's a lot of ways to set pricing. And the other thing to keep in mind is you can change it. You can change pricing as you go. Maybe you grandfather in people that are already there, but then you can change it if you realize you're providing more value or something along those lines. So I'd say get out there, test it, make a good guess, and go for it as far as setting the pricing. Next question from Anthony. Is there a detailed webinar about all the features and perks that we may not know about or how to implement? Yeah, we do have a webinar, I guess, we just on sort of using the system. But also we can give you a private demo. We have we'll have somebody just walk you through and discuss it with you as well if you'd like a private demo about that. It's a big system. There's a lot of different things you can do, and we often have people using the system for years, and they don't even know about half of it sometimes. But we do have a really great support database, I think, online with all sorts of information in there about how the system works as well. But maybe we can make a note here, Emerson. We can reach out and see if we can give you a personal walkthrough and see about that. And I think we do have a webinar about that as well, just sort of eDirectory basics on going through the system. Question from Terry. This is a great question. How do we motivate listing owners to keep paying for a subscription year over year? And the answer to that is you need to be providing them value, bringing them business. And so there's a whole bunch of, different techniques in terms of bringing them business. You need to promote your directory, make sure you have traffic to it. And if you're providing that and people are getting business off the directory, then you'll find they pay without, they say, hey, we want to pay more even, can I buy a bigger listing? But there's ways to do that. And so one of the ways people do that is instead of just say you're going to charge $100 a listing, maybe you charge $300 and then take that extra 200 and then buy traffic right into those individual listings. And that will generate some traffic and everything, both for the individual listing and get them some leads as well as for the rest of the site. The other thing you can do to provide more value, as I mentioned before, is bundling in other services with the listing. So think about what else you can provide and then bundle that in and say, hey, say you sell not just the listing, but maybe send somebody out to take a video of the business. And then you update the video every year, twice a year, you update the video and it shows maybe some products and an interview with the owner and that type of thing. That works pretty well. Do you guys have any more comments on that, Emerson or Gabriel? Feel free to jump in if anything on that.
Oh, I guess that's pretty much it. Paying traffic, buying traffic, paid traffic for the listings is a very good strategy. And be sure to use the listing template editor to create more CTA call to action buttons. That also helps to drive traffic to external websites. I mean, the listing websites and external shopping cart or whatever feature there is on the page for that business. It will help for sure to drive traffic and have some business for that listing.
Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to add is really just updating their listing, yearly and making sure that it looks great, putting in new photos and whatever you can do. If they have new offerings at their business, new products they're selling, update that information. That'll go a long way as well. Okay, next question from Abel. How do you verify listings? To verify the listings, what you can do, there is a moderation system where if somebody's adding a listing just randomly, a listing goes in, you can check it and look at it, and then you can decide what your verification process is. And it may be if it looks okay, just put it live. It may be that you want to do a internet search on the business and check out, make sure it's legit, make sure everything's okay there, and do that. The other thing you may want to do is call up the business and just do a phone verification with them and make sure you know who the person in charge is. So you can decide what that process is, and probably the more verification you do of the listing, you'll find that you're adding more value in terms of making sure everything is the content on the site is good. Next question from Karen. Can you speak more about how eDirectory enables the directory owner to add businesses to the directory, which would then necessitate someone from the business to to claim it, leading to generating revenue for a paid subscription. Emerson, maybe this is a good time if you're able to just show them the claim from the front anyway of how a listing is claimed. I think that's the question there is how can a business owner sort of claim a listing and check out? And basically what you do is you upload a database of listings, and then these listings don't yet have an owner, and then the listing owner can come in, they'll find their listing, or you reach out to them and say, hey, you're on our website, can you claim this? So we'll pull that up. We'll see if we can pull that up and show you just very quickly how that works.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find unclaimed
Unclaimed
listing
listing.
here. Just yeah, just
We'll give you a
1
second. Let me
second.
answer this next question and see if you can find
Okay.
one there. All right. Question from Leonella. How do vendors or users pay for memberships? Are there also terms and conditions they agree to when they subscribe to membership? Yes, so eDirectory has an integration where you can connect to different payment gateways. Like you can integrate to your PayPal account or your Stripe account or your authorized.net account to collect credit card payments. We don't take any cut of that or anything. It's your gateway. You sign up with Authorize or Stripe or PayPal. And then, yes, there are terms and conditions that you can put in there. If you don't have your own terms, you can go and research that and find some terms on the internet or find a lawyer, and then you can post in your terms, and they need to check to agree to terms on checkout. Next question from Ashley. Can you get these databases like addresses? Yes, there are a number of data vendors out there that are available on the internet, and you can go out and find one, and often they'll sell you data for certain locations or certain categories, such as I want to find all of the auto repair places and auto parts stores in Orlando, Florida. That you can find a data vendor that will sell you that data. And you could probably do a Google search and find it, find who those data vendors are. But if you have trouble finding a data vendor, just reach out to our support team. We also have an article, I think, on data acquisition on eDirectory.com in the resources section. Okay, next question from Elizabeth. If someone using our directory wants to cancel recurring subscription, how can they cancel? I think in this version, they reach out to you and just they reach out to your team and just say, I want to cancel the subscription. And that gives you a chance to sort of try to save the subscription. I don't believe there's most of the payment. So, and the reason we haven't coded this is every payment gateway has their own different way that things are done in terms of canceling. And so there's a little concern about how that's all done. But they just essentially reach out to you to cancel the subscription, and then you just deactivate it at that point.
James, two
Okay.
things. One, that I'm ready to show how to claim a listing, and about the canceling the subscription. If you have Stripe connected as your payment gateway, then there is a link for cancellation on the sponsor's dashboard. So if you're using Stripe, then it's automatic process.
Okay, great. And yes, and actually most people use Stripe these days. So sorry I forgot about that feature. If you're signing up for a new directory, we recommend Stripe for payment by credit card. Historically in the United States, everybody was using authorized.net, but I think Stripe over the last 5 years has kind of become the market leader for that. So stripe.com for payment gateway. Go ahead, Emerson. Do you want to show the claim process really quickly?
Yes. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we have this link on unclaimed listings, so you can edit the content here. So you can put anything you want. So if the business owners see their company on the website, they can claim the listing. It's a very simple process. I'm not sure if, okay, that's the process. So they will see the page for account sign up. Then the next step is to update the listings and do the checkout. So they can select a free plan, for example, if you offer a free plan, or if you just offer paid plans, then they will have to check out and make the payments. So it's a very easy process here. I'm not going through each steps because I'm already logged in as a site manager, so it will kind of be a mess. But that's how easy it is. They will sign up for an account, update the listing if needed, some data changes, and do the payment. Pretty simple.
Yeah, and to promote that, typically what people do is they send out emails, to claim your listing. Hey, you're featured in our directory. Log in to see what people are saying, that type of thing. And then people go in and claim the listing and check out. And we do recommend putting in a free plan, but if you want to do only paid listings, you can do that as well. Next question from Sarah. Are there any new widgets planned, and when are they due to be released? Yes, we are going to have a release towards the end of June. And we're going to have it's actually a nice release with a lot of stuff. We have some great membership bundles and some other things. I'm not able to sort of go into that. We will have a full webinar on that as soon as we formally set the release date. We're finishing up the quality assurance right now on that. So we'll tell you more. Stay tuned, and we will send out a newsletter as well about the release and what's coming. Question from Warren: when creating a link, can you spend time in the future on how to use the advanced area of that feature? I think he's wondering, how do you create a link on the website to some other part of the website, or a navigation link? Is that right? Did I understand that?
No, I believe that's related to support articles or
Oh,
related.
okay. Something else. Okay.
Yeah.
If we missed that, Warren, just reach out and we'll answer you that question better. I'm not sure we fully understood that. Next question from Kim. Our company just joined, and we're still testing, getting to know the option. Question: do we qualify for the 13.5 upgrade since we haven't launched or done anything major? Yes, Kim, I think so. You'll be there. And also, I want to remind people that if you have our monthly plan, the upgrades are all included in them. The owned license, there's an annual upgrade option, fee for that. But if you're on our monthly plan, upgrades are always included. But if you've joined very recently, you'll get the upgrade there. So yes, for that. Let's see. Question from Terry. Can you talk more about backlinks? What are they and how? Backlinks is just a word, an SEO term that means a link from another website into your content. So another blog, your social media, anything linking into listings or your homepage or whatever it is, those are backlinks for that. And if you want a good SEO resource, Moz.com, Moz.com has a SEO 101 guide on there that I recommend that anybody new to SEO reads. That'll give you a good overview on things. Let's see. Next comment. The slider does not appear on the page when opened on mobile. We'll check. Can you note that, Mr. Hashi? And we'll note that and check that out. I suspect there's some configuration if you're having difficulty with that, because the slider should work on the mobile just fine. It is built with a responsive design. Question from Ronald Thomas. What control can I have over customer comments to avoid abuse from bad customer? Yeah, so you can moderate those. eDirectory has a way for you to delete them and that kind of thing on them. So that's easy. The other thing actually that we have that I've seen people do is they often change the label on the reviews to actually be testimonials instead of comments, and then it gives the directory a positive vibe where people are, they're not going to just add negative stuff in the testimonials, but you are able to moderate the comments there for that. So you do have control of that through the site manager area. An account executive or our support team can show you how to do that. Next question from Constanci, I plan to make a directory for small businesses in the Philippines and make digital coupons. Do you think this will work? Coupons, yes. So we have a sort of a deals coupons feature in the system, and that works with listings, and listings can upload all their coupons. Typically, yeah, that works. Helping, giving some people a discount, giving more visibility. That absolutely is a great way to do it. So that works really well with local guides. Next question from Harry Berto. Can an age verification pop-up be inserted on to enter on eDirectory? I suspect there's a external plugin where you could do an age verification on that that you can put in there in the header, and it'll pop and redirect if they hit no. With that, it could also be done for some custom coding. We could certainly give you a quote on doing a custom little code. It shouldn't be very complicated to do. I'd say reach out to our account management team, and we'll be able to see what you need and how to get that done. Question from Ronald Thomas. On the app, can advertisements I choose be inserted between the directory listings? How would eDirectory differentiate between a business listing versus an advertisement otherwise? So we have these widgets in the system, and those work on the mobile app as well to put in ads in various spots throughout the system. And essentially you put the ad zone in where you want it, and then the ads are rotated through in that zone. I don't know if you can put them in the different, like after a certain number of listings, but how does that work on the mobile app? Do you have a better idea, Emerson?
It's a hard-coded function. I believe each 5 listen results, there is a banner. So it's a different design from the summary card for listings. So it's visually very different one from another.
Okay,
But it's
great.
hard-coded the number. I don't recall right now the number, but it's between X number of listings or results, because it's not just listings on the results page for the app.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think that answers it there. So that should work fine, putting ads in and having those differentiated visually. Question from Karen. Can you send the link in the chat to where to sign up for the one-on-one webinar product tour kind of thing? Yeah, absolutely. We'll post that in the chat, and also we can note to reach out to you. Question from Terry. Taking the eDirectory API key, can I use Zapier to integrate the emails of my directory listing owners to a database? How about that, Emerson, as far as I don't know if we're set up right out of the box for a Zapier integration. Are we at this point, are we?
No, we don't, but it's possible to export the database for accounts, the sponsor
Yeah.
accounts, and then you upload on your preferred email marketing platform.
Yeah, so you can go in the site manager and just export, and the export is pretty good in terms of picking what you want exported and getting it out of there. For that, if you did want a Zapier integration, you could reach out and we could see if we could do some custom coding for you for that. There would be some cost for that involved. Next question from Terry. If we offer a free plan, do they still need to input a credit card number? I was told it's good to have them input the credit card number to ensure it's a real legitimate listing. I don't know. That may depend on the gateway. If you're able to put in like a $0 cost and do a credit card validation. I think our free plan doesn't require a credit card just out of the box. But there may be some way to get that done. You can reach out to us if you really want to do that, and we'll see what's involved in making that happen. How seamless is the white labeling in terms of the UX? Yeah, so you can configure everything using the WYSIWYG, the widget-based editor, and also fonts and all that. We also have ability to override the CSS. If you wanted to override the CSS through the site manager, you can do that through the site manager. Also, if you wanted us to just do a pixel perfect match on some website or something, or some design you have, we have a custom development team that can do that kind of thing as well, and make it really seamless. It really depends on what you need, but certainly the platform is very flexible in terms of making it white labeled and fitting your brand. Let's see. Oh, comment from Ashley. I find your tech support awesome. Oh, that's great. Great news. Glad to hear that. Yeah, we do take pride. I think we have a pretty good team in our support. Can you moderate, next question from Rob. Can you moderate reviews prior to them posting? Yes, I believe there is a way, there's a moderation queue for reviews. And so you can check those before they go live. From Leonella, do you have websites that charge both users to access the directory and vendors to create and enhance their listings, or are websites more successful by only charging on one end of the process? And if so, which end? Typically, yeah. So actually, this next release we have coming out in just a couple weeks here, it has a really great feature where you can charge both ends or charge one end or do whatever you want to do as far as that. What works best, it really depends on the industry and the type of guide you're building. Some things you only want to charge the visitor, but most things I would say you want to charge the business, the person sort of selling. The sponsor is going to probably pay in most of these models, but it really depends, and you'll be able to do both of those with this. Okay, I think it looks like that's all the questions. If anybody has a further question, just drop it in. Oh, one more came in. Can you tell us a bit more about some of the key upgrades with the version 13.5? Yeah, the big topic is going to be it allows more bundling and more flexibility in terms of the sponsor packages, and also creating a paywall on the site to restrict certain content. And that kind of thing. We'll have more coming up. We'll have a full review, and there's also a bunch of other things. We've been working on this release for quite a long time now, actually. So it's going to be a big release for us. So we're really excited about that. And yeah, I can't say too much more, but stay tuned as far as that goes. Okay, last call for questions, and be sure to sign up for our next webinars coming in. If you need anything, our support team is there, as well as our account management team if you want to walk through on anything. Last question came in. Just signed up. Once the domain is migrated over, is there a way to hold off the website on going live while it's under construction? Yes, there's a feature in the site manager to put it in maintenance mode, and you can customize that change, say like coming live, going soon, and turn that on. Just hit our support team on chat if you don't see it in there. It's pretty fine on eDirectory.com, and say, how do I turn on the maintenance page in the site? But you'll find it right in the back end there, in the settings section. As far as how to sign up for 13.5, the new version coming out, when it's out, you'll receive a newsletter and then just respond saying, hey, I want to upgrade. And we have a form on eDirectory.com to upgrade. We don't upgrade people without their consent, because sometimes the versions change, the layout changes, etc. So yeah, you'll see a link coming out, and then there'll be a little link on our website to fill out to upgrade. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us today, and have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.